You get home from a long day of work or school. Immediately get your phone and check social media. You have 10 minutes of free time before you need to head out, so you check Instagram. You wake up, immediately grab your phone and scroll through TikTok. You lay down to go to sleep, but you aren't tired, so you grab your phone and start watching Snapchat stories. You sit down on the bus or in an Uber and start scrolling, ignoring the world around you. 10 minutes turns to an hour to 3, and before you know it, you have wasted another day. Social media addiction has become the norm. 4 to 6 hours a day wasted has become the standard. But I want you to imagine a life where you control your time. A life where when you have a second of free time, you are exploring your creativity, delving into deep thought, or observing and connecting with the world around you. A life where you don't mindlessly waste your days scrolling through a timeline, where you are in control. In this video, I'm going to take you through 4 things you can do right now to break free from social media and live the life you want to live. You wake up, you don't grab your phone, you go make yourself a cup of coffee and go for a nice relaxing walk with a friend before getting ready for work. You have time, you aren't in a rush. You aren't tired. You don't sit in bed for 2 hours scrolling through TikTok and wasting away. I used to spend 3 to 5 hours a day mindlessly scrolling through YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, and it would leave me at the end of the day feeling unfulfilled and that I was wasting my life, which I was. My mood was suffering, my focus was suffering, and my friendships were suffering. A year ago, I made the decision to delete social media altogether, and I have never looked back. Number 1, make it unattractive and difficult. A habit consists of 3 things: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is the trigger that initiates the habit. In this case, the cue is boredom, which causes us to reach for our phones and go on social media. What we want to do is to increase friction so the habit becomes easier to avoid, as well as decrease friction on the other habits that we want to do so they become easier to initiate. This comes from James Clear in Atomic Habits. Most effective way to create friction is to block or limit social media apps and websites. There are several ways you can do so. The first is to log out of the app every time you are done using it. Make sure you don't save your username and password on your phone so that you have to manually type them in every time you want to get into the app. The second is to get an app that blocks or creates barriers to get onto social media. The simplest but also easiest to bypass way to do this is just setting time limits on your phone. This is built into iOS and Android and can be done in your settings. And paired with logging out of all your apps when you're done using them, this may create enough friction to keep you out of them entirely. If you need to take things a step further, there are many apps that block or create barriers. My personal favorites include ScreenZen, which allows you to set a period of time that is displayed with a message that you have to wait through to get onto the app or the website, or BlockSite, which completely blocks the websites and apps you select. For some of you, like me, one of these apps may still not be enough to keep you off. So what you can do is get both and use them to block one another. That is, go in ScreenZen and block all social media apps and BlockSite, and then go on BlockSite and block all social media apps and ScreenZen. This is an incredible amount of friction and will make it incredibly difficult to get on any of these apps. Number 2, make it unsatisfying. Making a habit unsatisfying helps us stop it because our brain is wired to seek rewards and avoid discomfort. As James Clear puts it in Atomic Habits, every habit produces a reward. Once your brain begins to associate a habit with a satisfying result, you crave the feeling the habit provides. Habits persist because they create some form of reward or pleasure, but by making the habit unattractive, we remove the satisfaction it previously provided. For example, let's say you watch TV every night before going to bed, and when you do, you snack on some candy. If you decide to replace the candy with carrots, you can only eat carrots while watching TV, you are less likely to repeat the habit as the reward has been drastically reduced and you are left unsatisfied. How can we apply this framework to social media and make it unsatisfying? Well, there are many ways we can do so. The first would be to grayscale your phone. To grayscale your phone, go to Settings, then Accessibility, and Color Filters, and then check off Grayscale. Grayscaling your phone makes it less stimulating and gives you the feeling like your phone is sucking you out of real life when you are using it. The second thing you can do is to start a timer right before you go on social media. Then when you're done, take that number and write it down. And at the end of the day or the end of the week, look how much time you have wasted. Alternatively, you can make a strict rule for yourself to make a habit even less satisfying, such as for every 10 minutes I spend on social media, I have to then go stare at a wall for 1 minute. Nothing will help you break a bad habit faster than having to stare at a wall for a long period of time. The third thing you can do is move all social media apps to a folder and name that folder something such as wasting my time, so that your brain starts to associate going on these apps with negative emotions such as time wasting. Number 3, tell your friends and family you are doing this. Give your friend or parent $100 and tell them only to give it back to you after a week or a day of no social media. Another thing you can do is to store your phone in another room or get a timed lockbox to put it in to prevent you from reaching for it. pre-commit to not using it for a certain amount of time and make it difficult to get to it. Another thing you can do is to delete your accounts entirely and delete the apps. Delete the apps, delete the accounts. Make a pre-commitment to stop going on them by getting rid of them. Number 4, and this may be the most important, fill your calendar or have a backup app or thing to do every time you want to scroll through social media. Now that we have made going on social media difficult and unsatisfying, over time the lack of a reward causes your brain to disengage autopilot, prevents the habit from feeling worth repeating. New behaviors can emerge to fill the void. It's about rewiring what is satisfying and steering your automatic behaviors towards better rewards aligned with your goals. What this means is to get an app that you can use your time productively on. This could be an app where you can read or listen to books, such as Kindle, Libby, or Audible, or an app where you can listen to podcasts such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Or it could be something more creative such as a sketchpad or just Apple Notes to write stuff down. And then ask yourself, why do I want to stop going on social media in the first place? Is there other things I want to be doing that I am not doing? Fill your time so you don't have the option to waste your time. Figure out what it is you want to do and then get after it. You're going to have countless more hours in the day to chase your dreams, go on adventures, and hang with your friends. So go do it. I just want to wrap up by saying commit. This is not going to be easy. It is going to be a journey. Take the wins as they come. One day of no social media is a win. Don't take a relapse on day 3 as a failure. Take it as a stepping stone and an opportunity to improve. Finally, if you're serious about this, I want you to start right now. Now. Do not click on another video or switch to another social media app. You clicked on this video for a reason. Start now.